Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. There's no stopping the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, as we've seen a new entry released in every decade, dating back to the iconic original from 1974. The ninth film, simply titled Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is now streaming on Netflix, and I want to talk about it. This is Paul's trip to the movies. The creative team of director David Blue Garcia and writer Chris Thomas Delvin set this film in the same world as the original, as we learn and are reminded that final girl Sally Hardesty was the sole survivor of Leatherface's reign of terror. Now close to 50 years later, a group of 4 friends is traveling to the abandoned ghost town of Harlow, Texas, hoping to revitalize it into a new community. There's Dante, played by Jacob Latimore, who is a chef, Elsie Fisher as Lila, who we learned is a survivor of school shooting, Lila's sister Melody, played by Sarah Yarkin, and Ruth, played by Nell Hudson. Now Dante makes his way into an abandoned orphanage and finds an elderly woman and her son living there. There's some distress and chaos, leading to the old woman's death. Now that is the catalyst for her son, who you probably guessed by now is Leatherface, to don a new mask and start up his chainsaw, taking vengeance on this new crop of investors and visitors in Harlow. Now word gets back to Sally Hardesty, who's been waiting all these years to finish him off. Alwyn Farre takes over the role from Marilyn Burns, who passed away in 2014. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is taking a page out of the Halloween and Scream franchise's playbook by reuniting the iconic final girl with the killer. Now this story is though primarily about the new cast, as we don't even see Sally until about halfway through the movie. And frankly, I don't even think that this film treats the character very well, and you'll see what I mean when watching the movie. And like those films, the film sticks to a really familiar title but drops the from the title. Now this new cast, led by Elsie Fisher, who was the breakout star of the indie film 8th Grade a few years ago. And I can see why she'd want to be a part of it, but she's either miscast or she's just far better than this material. The film attempts to humanize Leatherface, as we see one brief scene with him mourning over the death of his mother. But that's short-lived, as once Leatherface gets going, the movie is all about the vicious kills, as blood, guts, and bones are just splattered throughout. There's a scene involving a bus that is carnage mayhem, and I've seen plenty of horror movies, but even my jaw dropped at the sheer just relentless nature of the killings. It reminded me of the Evil Dead remake from a few years ago, where no expense was spared on the budget for fake blood. That made even more sense when I saw that Fede Alvarez, who directed that Evil Dead remake, is listed here as a producer and credited for the story. Now, I don't think that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is trying to say anything new for the horror genre, the legacy of this franchise, or even the Sally Hardesty character. It's fairly bare bones in terms of story and characters, and this entire movie is only 75 minutes. I'm giving Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1.5 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I get some of the movie reviews, as well as my appearances on Twin Cities Live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Paul's Movie Trip. I'd love to hear from you. Do you have a favorite in this Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise that's not the original? Let me know your favorite sequel, and then go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for even more reviews. Thank you so much for watching my review of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.